There we go. Hey team, Dr. Josh Wagner here with Patient Mastery, where we help awesome chiropractors become the go-to doc in town with your best collections ever and more time off, all without extra marketing, extra hours, extra team, or adding new services, because what you do already works to get people back to their life. Now, with that being said, I got an email this week from a doc 4 months into starting his own practice from scratch. He had been an associate before and said, Josh, I've already hit my 1-year goals in the practice, starting 4 months from scratch. And so much of it is based on how you teach to recommend care to new patients. Sometimes we call it time-based care, sometimes we call it case fees. It doesn't matter what you call it. I'm gonna give you an insight on why it works so well so you can start changing, using it today, so more patients say yes, pay you, follow your recommendations, consider you their chiro or doc for life, and want to tell other people about you more easily. So first off, the conventional age-old way of recommending chiropractic care is we're going to work together for this amount of time, it's going to be this many visits, and we're going to start at this frequency. Pretty normal, right? Yeah, maybe you're going to tell them what services they get, all that. I get it. Now, here's the thing. When you tell people of those numbers, the one thing that's the biggest red flag is not how much it costs, it's how many visits are in your recommendations, your plan. Because when you say any number above 8, which is pretty low, 8's pretty low. I'm not saying you shouldn't recommend more than 8 visits, anything like that. You recommend what you believe is clinically necessary. But when you recommend more than 8, the patient's mind immediately goes to, let's say you recommend 36 or 46, or I was taught in practices that recommended 85 to 120 visits. Like, that's overwhelming. But even if a patient hears 24 visits or 36 visits, which to most chiropractors feels really low, you get adjusted maybe 50 times a year. So recommending 24 or 36 for a condition, like, that doesn't seem so overwhelming. But to a patient, they're thinking, my uncle had chemo and they only did 8 visits. My brother went to a PT and they only did 10 visits, for his shoulder, or 12 visits. My mom had surgery and she only needed a pre-op surgery and a post-op. So what's really important is that you see the world differently than your patients do. And the second you recommend a number of visits over 8, immediately they start thinking, where can I get this done? Where can I go to another chiropractor where I can get the same results in less visits? And they immediately start pinpointing you, kind of like as a commodity. You're just another service and you're recommending this much. So where can I get it for less? Kind of like if you want to go get pizza, well, they charge $25 for a pie and they charge 18 and it's the same pie. Might as well go with the 18, okay? That's actually what patients are thinking. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have a 24 visit plan or 36 visit plan over however many weeks or months. But you don't have to talk about the number of visits. When you give someone, a new patient, based on your clinical experience, your expertise, your exam, here's the amount of time we're going to work together initially. Here's the frequency to begin with, 2 times a week. As you get better, you're not going to have to come in as often. You don't have to mention the total number of visits. You may not know, or someone doesn't care at week 8 or 9 how many visits they're going to come in. They want to know how long this is going to take to get back to their life. They want to know, to start, how many visits they have to plan into their schedule and at least just schedule for the next few weeks. But they don't need to know the total number of visits. And when you leave that out, your plan could still be based on visits and services and modalities and all that. But when you leave that out, patients don't have another piece of info to then start comparing you to other practitioners with, whether it's another chiro, or maybe they're like, maybe I should go to PT or acupuncture or whatever. So just by leaving that out, you are increasing how much easier it is for patients to start, follow your recommendations, trust you, not get bogged down in the weeds, not have the, I need to speak to my spouse about this, or let me think about it and I'll get back to you after the holidays or our vacation, which is just another way for them to say, I don't fully buy into this yet. And one of the main reasons as chiropractors we sabotage ourselves is by putting in unnecessary information, which is the total visit number. Now you think you need to do it because that's what you've been taught on stage and in school and in every chiro coaching platform. Why? Because that's what they did in the 70s and 80s. And why change something? But you know what? Insurance is changing, public perception is changing, everything's changing. And when you shift from, this is the real key point here, when you shift from trying to sell your service and your care and the details around that, total number of visits in a plan, and you shift to selling the end result that you expect the patient to get, you're not guaranteeing, you're being completely honest with confidence and professionalism, as long as you think and expect them to get the results they're looking for, or at least 80% plus. When you start offering that as what they are paying for and the opportunity, sale, whatever you want to call it, you will see a dramatic shift in referrals, retention, payment out of pocket, and the results people are getting when they trust you as the leader and follow your recommendations. So quick tip, stop saying total number of visits. You don't have to change anything else. Keep the same plans you're doing. Just stop saying it, stop writing it on the piece of paper. You only mention it if a person asks. And you will see a shift there. But the real shift comes up here, is understanding why people pay for things, why people pay for care. Stop selling chiropractic, start selling them getting their life back. When you make that shift, your practice will double within a year, and it gets so much easier. If you want help personally, like the care plan templates, the 5-step recommendations in under 10 minutes where you never feel like a salesperson, the 6-question consult where you're positioned as the best doctor they've ever seen in their life, reach out, send me a message, reply under here, ready. I'll reach out, see if your practice is a fit for how we help docs in patient mastery double their collections or at least add 20,000 to your collections. Become the go-to doc in town in less time and love practice. Thank you for all you do. Keep it up. I will see you in an upcoming video.